this is Donna Creef here, your Government Affairs Director with the latest edition of Let's Get Real. And today I have with me Sheila Davies from Dare County Health and Human Services, Amy Montgomery from Outer Banks Health, and Jen Schwartzenberg from Outer Banks Health. And we are talking about Thrive OBX. And so I've heard your presentation twice, and I was so impressed by it. I thought, well, let me get them on my podcast. And so I'm going to let you ladies talk about what Thrive OBX is. And this is from this is an offshoot that you guys have started from the Blue Zones.
Yeah.
Right, and so I know a lot of the people were probably familiar with that, but they might not be familiar with this, and this is, to me, this is much cooler than the Blue Zones. I like the Thrive OBX. I just love everything about it. So let's I'm going to let you
jump in first.
Yeah, you guys
I will jump in. Well,
talk
first,
about the collaboration.
I will. And so, but thank you so much for bringing us on. We're excited to be here. So yeah, a little bit about the collaboration. I'll take us back to a little more than a year ago when meetings were happening. People that are watching may have been engaged when we were doing a study with the Blue Zones to do kind of a landscape analysis, what was going on, how ready is our community, where are gaps, where are strengths. And they came back with a comprehensive report, much of what we kind of knew about our community.
Yeah.
And after reviewing their proposal and all, we had a meeting, and actually Amy was like, I think we can do this on our own without such a hefty price tag, and without the price tag going out of the
It was a
beginning.
hefty price tag. Millions
of dollars. Yeah, when I saw that in your
Yeah.
presentation, I was like, whoa.
Right.
And we have so many assets and resources, and so Thrive OBX was born out of that. And, as sitting here representing Dare County and Health and Human Services, I'm thrilled to be a partner with Outer Banks Health. We have a long-standing relationship of solid partnerships, whether it's in doing the community health needs assessments, lots of nonprofits that are now standing independently, started between some of the foundational work that we've done through the years.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah, like the community care clinic, the dementia-friendly Outer Banks, just so many different things. So it's a natural, positive relationship to support this initiative. And so basically, Thrive OBX is a wellness initiative. Research shows that the choices we make are what makes the greatest impact in our health and well-being and longevity. Certainly, heredics has an impact, and access to healthcare has an impact, but the largest impact is what we can do as individuals. So Thrive OBX as a broader initiative is about introducing, for some people, what those small changes could be that could make a lasting impact. And for others, it's how you advance what you're already doing.
Right.
One of the things that I love, especially in working in population health, is this initiative has the opportunity to intersect with everybody regardless of their, where they are in life, what their challenges are, what their obstacles are. There's a way for them to engage.
Yeah.
And I'll turn it over to these ladies. So how we're kicking this all off is with Thrive Month coming up. And you're right, this is so exciting. So I will turn it over to you guys to talk about that.
Absolutely. I want to go back to the fact that, Sheila, you brought up the Blue Zones, because some people watching the podcast may not be familiar with the Blue Zones and the research and really the why behind what we're doing. But when we originally engaged with Blue Zones, it was on the heels of the fact that we do have the Center for Healthy Living at Outer Banks Health. That is our lifestyle medicine practice. So, when we're out in the community, sometimes people ask the question, it's a fair question, is all this fluff, this lifestyle stuff? But we actually have a specialist practice that's medicine-based at Outer Banks Health called the Center for Healthy Living, led by Christina Bowen. And, lifestyle medicine is a medical specialty. So if you break your ankle, you go to an orthopedic surgeon. If you need to make a lifestyle modification to enhance your well-being, you come to the Center for Healthy Living. And so at one time, we were engaged with Blue Zones. We also started engaging with Blue Zones because after we finished building the cancer center, we kind of turned and looked at each other and said, well, we have this beautiful cancer center and we can take really great care of people in our community with cancer. We should also be in the business of helping to prevent cancer and other chronic diseases. And so, all those things collided. We engaged with the Blue Zones, decided to pivot. But a little bit about the Blue Zones. The Blue Zones was conducted, the research was conducted over 20 years ago by an investigative journalist by the name of Dan Buettner. And he was out in the worldwide, searching literally for the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is the common denominator in cultures where people live to be more than 100, and they're that age, and they're still thriving? They're still engaged in their community. They're still gardening or celebrating their birthdays with their families and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he found that these communities had these 9 things in common, and they're lifestyle factors. They're really simple things. And so we combined the Blue Zones Power 9 once we pivoted away from sending $8 million to Minnesota. So and we combined that with the pillars of lifestyle medicine. There's 6 pillars, and we created Thrive OBX with the 5 Thrive, the 5 pillars. And now we really think as leaders in healthcare in the community, it's our responsibility to go out there and tell people, like, what is it you can do on a daily basis? What are the choices you can make? And simple choices to enhance your well-being and your longevity. Just like if you buy a new car, you go to your mechanic, right, to take care. Well, how do I get the most miles out of this vehicle? How do I prepare for retirement? You lean on your financial advisor. So as the healthcare experts in the community and leaders, we really want people in the community to know, like, what's the secret to longevity? Because 60% of it is within our control.
Yeah. I think the fact that you guys are doing this on your own, the Thrive OBX, without the hefty price tag from the Blue Zone, that's more attractive to me because it takes away that commercialization of it that I think would have been a hindrance on the success of it. At least in my mind, that was what my thought was, is $8 million. That's just a scam. But this is more organic, if you will. And so I think that's going to resonate with more folks than what the Blue Zones did.
I couldn't agree more. And being so close to it, when we were first pivoting away and we were having those conversations, those were hard conversations. Because we had spent a lot of
so much time on it,
working on the Blue Zones and talking with them and working with them, bringing them here, that I was a little nervous personally about how the community was gonna, you said you were gonna do this and now you're doing this, and but now that we have, and we're about a year into that when that decision was made, I couldn't agree more with you that creating Thrive OBX that is really customizable for our community. It's a little bit more authentic for the Outer Banks.
I think so, yeah.
It's programs, what we have planned for Thrive Month and beyond is really tapping into local resources, local fitness instructors and gyms, but beyond that, people in our community who do meditation and breath work and look at how we're sleep habits. And so we're bringing a lot of different partners and experts to the table to help share their great information and get this out to the masses. And so it's so amazing that it can be customized from, for an individual, for a business that might be interested in there's a ton of research that we're discovering about workplace and the well-being of employees, and employees really performing better and showing up to work in a better state of mind when their employer is concerned and for their well-being, and makes opportunities available for them to tap into their well-being. So it's really exciting work that we're doing, and excited to be a part of it.
Right, and so, and I'm sure, some of my OBAR members are thinking, well, I don't know why Donna has these ladies in there talking about this, but when I heard your earlier presentations to the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau Long Range Planning Committee, you talked about how there's a segment of the traveling public out there that goes to places, or they pick their vacation choices based on these types of programs like this, or if there's I forget what the term was. It was healthcare travel or medical travel or something. Yeah.
There are travelers out there looking for what we call well-being destinations.
Okay.
Where can I go and enjoy the outdoors? Where can I be physically active? Where can I go to a restaurant where there are healthy menu items?
Right.
What's an area where there's fresh local seafood?
Yeah.
And so, this work, although it's really not really the genesis of this work. One of the unintentional consequences, or maybe intentional down the road, could be that we become a well-being destination.
Yes.
We are, working with the Visitor Bureau, as well as, the business of medical tourism.
Yes.
So there are people who travel for medical care. And so it's possible that at some point in the future we could, off-season, be a destination for someone to come, seek medical care. Stay in a home and rest and recover while they're at the beach, seaside, and then return back to where they're from. And so, this doesn't stop with, it starts with our community, right? Take care of our local residents first. And then it can continue to build business opportunities for the local business community, and it could even build beyond that to where we are a destination for well-being.
Yeah, there's a niche market there, and that the property managers and the vacation rental homes could focus on that. But for our members, I also think that that there's a benefit for being the Thrive, being involved with this for their personal health is all, because if you're not healthy personally, you can't be healthy professionally. And so I do want to talk about this. This is the Thrive Month, February 2026. I just got notice of this earlier this week, and I thought, well, that's great timing, because we got our podcast. Show this and talk about this some, because this is a groovy little book here. I thought when I got the email that it was just a digital little thing. I didn't realize that it was this whole.
It is a real playbook.
It's this whole thing, that it's so interactive. Yeah.
I'll talk about it a little bit, but you guys chime in. That everybody right now is enjoying the 12 bars of Christmas, right?
Yes.
And so really, we created this idea based on just the fun and the engagement and the connection that people are enjoying through 12 bars. So February 2026, it's kind of a slower time. The holidays are over, but we're not quite geared up for the season yet. It's Thrive Month, and we have organized 25 activities for residents and visitors to get involved in. And you can punch your card just like you do when you go to the 12 bars of Christmas. And at the end,
high five and thrive.
High five. Give yourself a high five.
There you go.
And depending on how many boxes you check, you can win prizes. And there are activities like the Dare County Libraries has a great list of books around purpose, because purpose, knowing your purpose, is one of the pillars that really contributes to well-being and longevity.
Right. It's not just about the physical fitness aspect of it.
It's not.
There's the other mental capacities of it. Yeah.
It's not. So some simple activities, and yet we've also designed it so that you don't have to come in person. You can engage in Thrive Month remotely. You can watch a video. You can make the meal at home, that maybe you'd go get at the restaurant, and those types of things. And so Thrive Month is for everybody. And one point I also want to make, and then you guys jump in and talk about it as well, is that some of this stuff seems really simple, but that's really the point, right? I think we complicate things sometimes, and maybe listeners or people in the community think, gosh, like total well-being, it's not achievable for me, or like, that macros and kilometer, it just seems complicated, right? And so you think, well, I can't go do that many reps at the gym, or I don't have time. Well-being and longevity doesn't have to be that complicated. It really is. It can be simple, and it can be simple choices you make every day. And Thrive Month is a way just to lean in a little bit and see how simple and doable well-being can be.
Yeah.
And very personalized. I think that's what this whole initiative is about, is the personalization. And you mentioned in Thrive Month, there's 25 activities, and there's basically 5 in each of the Thrive 5 categories. So nourish, move, purpose, balance, and engage. So the activities that people will find are in those categories. So some are related to meals that you can prepare, or activities that you can do, whether you do them at home with family, but they're going to be centered around those purpose things. I was thinking on my drive here today, I was talking to someone on the phone who's in a tough spot. Her father's dying any day now, and she was upset, and I was like, take 10 minutes today and just get out and go for a walk. Find something for you, because you can't keep pouring into him if you don't take care of yourself. And part of our Thrive 5 initiative is finding ways to do that, because that leads to a healthier state for you yourself. So there's just so many. Before you go into some of the details of the activities, one of the things that's just so inspiring, but living in the Outer Banks, you see this all the time, is what an amazing, engaged community we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way this has come together, the partners that are involved has just been extraordinary. We had a meeting earlier this week, and when we were listening to some key partner reports, it's just mind-boggling. Yeah, my tracker. Just keep showing it because it's really cool. But anyway, so I just, you can't help but be excited about the energy and where this is going to go.
Yeah.
So tell them about more exciting activities.
So like we've talked about, there are 25 activities, 5 under each of the 5 pillars. There are some signature events to kind of keep an eye out for. So around Super Bowl weekend, we're asking some of the restaurants to have a soup competition for Super Bowl weekend, a soup cook-off. So people will be able to go into certain restaurants, try some of these soups, rank them on our website. Don't want to go to a restaurant, you can try your own soup, Thrive-inspired soup that the recipes are on the website.
Excellent.
So that's one of our first ones. Another one, we're doing a huge beach cleanup and island cleanup. So from Duck down to Hatteras, we are going to clean the beaches. We're working with surf riders. We're working with North Carolina Coastal Federation and the Parks Service to organize this massive beach cleanup all in one day. We are not forgetting our friends on Roanoke Island and Wanchese.
Yeah.
We will have cleanups on there as well. So the community can come together for a massive, now it might be cold on February 21st, but so dress warm, but we'll have all the supplies. We have a wonderful new Thrive Bites food trailer that goes around and serves healthy options. We don't sell the food, we're just kind of giving it away, letting people sample some healthy things. And so we'll be going out on the day of the beach cleanup to various locations going there. So then also under the move category on February 14th, we've partnered with some of the schools to utilize their gymnasiums to do a big move-a-thon. So people can come in with their family. That's really geared towards the families of the schools, and we'll have things like silent disco and some fitness folks coming in and just doing some
music bingo too.
Yeah. We are going to do some music bingo. I'm a little partial to that. Love the music bingo. It's always so fun and engaging. We have a group that we're working with out of Raleigh called Commotion. It stands for Community in Motion. And they get around the whole stigma of dance. When people hear the D word, they get a little nervous. I have no rhythm. I don't know how to dance. I can't move like that. Well, it's all about movement, and they really focus on that. So they're coming in.
Fun.
And we're going to move around to different locations on February 14th for our move-a-thon. And then let's see, what else? Amy mentioned the book reads. So the library has been a tremendous partner in identifying close to 30 books on purpose, age appropriate from kindergarten all the way up. And so now those books will be announced. Actually, they already are on our website. And folks can go read those books in advance, and then the library is hosting 4 or 5 community book talks. So maybe you've read a book about purpose, and then I read a book about purpose. You come and you talk about what you kind of got from the book you read. I get really inspired by that. I said, I'm going to read that book that Donna read. And then I talk about the book and then Sheila's like, wow, I really like what Jen had to say about that book. I'm going to go read that one. So really a great opportunity to kind of collaborate and engage about those books. Taking it a step further with purpose, there is a purpose video on the website. There is a purpose tool to help you kind of, because identifying your purpose can be a little heady sometimes, maybe a little difficult. So there's a step-by-step tool on the website that those that visit the site can download that, work through those steps, and then once you have that purpose identified, we've partnered with some coffee shops and restaurants and some locations that will have a purpose wall. We have Thrive-inspired Post-it notes at these locations, and you can go and post your purpose.
There you go.
And so I hope to see lots of walls filled with these Post-it notes. So that's just some of it. We're teaming up. We're working with a lot of the towns to do community picnics. So a lot of the towns have common spaces and parks and things like that. So we're asking them to come up with a day. And so while we're here to support some of those events and certainly promote them on the website and through social media, we're really leaving it up to folks to go and do their own thing too. We don't want to. We don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to lead all of that. So we know everyone's got some great ideas that they can bring to the table.
Yeah.
So about being inclusive and really customizing it, we welcome all of that. And if you're listening today and want to partner, please reach out. Jen Schwartzenberg, right?
Absolutely. So you've mentioned your webpage 2 or 3 different times. That's where we can go to get these?
Yes. So right on the homepage, thriveobx.com.
Easy to remember.
And so you can buy it online. If you buy it online, we get that report. We actually send it out. I should have brought it. I didn't. But it's mailed in a very similar packaging to the playbook, so you get a really fun piece of mail when you purchase one online.
Yeah. And so you say purchase it, where does that go? That's going back into the nonprofit of the Thrive OBX?
Yes, so Outer Banks Health is a nonprofit hospital, and so since 2006 we've actually given out over $2 million through our community benefit grants program. So similar to that program, that really goes towards like transportation, access to care, mental health and substance use. That's our community benefit grant program. We're going to set up so the proceeds from Thrive Month, the playbook sales, are going to go towards a new grant program for Thrive inspired projects. So if a teacher has an idea that they want to bring to their school, if a nonprofit organization wants to start a camp for summer kids, a summer camp for kids, to teach them how to grow vegetables and what that process looks like, farm to table, healthy eating, or movement, that is where we'll have a separate grant program announced this spring.
Right.
Got to get through Thrive Month first.
Yeah. Oh, well, Thrive Month sounds like it's going to be a great month, though. Let's hope the weather cooperates with this, right?
That's my holiday wish. People have said, what do you want for the holidays? I want a mild February.
Well, this has been great. I've enjoyed the conversation, and this is the 3rd time that I've heard all about Thrive OBX, and it just inspires me. I'm going to go buy me a playbook.
They're $10.
$10.
That's what it is.
And
just $10.
And it's just a great way to motivate yourself and and to do the right thing, I think, and be involved in the community and take care of yourself as well as the community. Okay, well, we're going to sign off here, ladies. Thank you again for coming in.
Thank you, Donna.
And
thank you.
And we look forward to February of 2026 then.
Sounds great.
That's it for today. Thank you so much, guys.